Black Panther is a hugely important Marvel character, hugely important in the history of comics. And it felt like the best way to introduce him was within Captain America Civil War.
When there was an opportunity in the Civil War development process where we needed another character, he was the one and only person on the list. Introducing Black Panther was really exciting for us and sort of fortified our belief that he deserved his own standalone movie.
We put together a cast and a crew among the best that we've ever assembled, led by our director, Ryan Coogler.
Panther, he kind of exists in a gray area, and in addition to being a soldier, he has a more important job, which is a politician. He's constantly making these choices in the fog of politics and in the fog of war.
We deal with royalty, we deal with royal families, but unlike our other films, it's right here on Earth we get to explore different cultures and different aspects of our world.
For Black Panther and the world of Wakanda, it's finding those real-life touchstones that we think gives the film an integrity, yet still making it something that you've never seen before.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Let's break down some of this Black Panther. This will be one of the first of many Black Panther Avengers videos that'll be coming this year, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'll be doing giveaways and all of them. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video about Black Panther stuff. It's for a copy of the Doctor Strange DVD. I always announce winners at the end of videos. Like they say, Black Panther isn't going to look like anything you've seen before in the Marvel Universe. We've been to Eastern Europe, but we've never been to this part of Africa, with the exception of the brief visit during Avengers Age of Ultron with the tie-in to Ulysses Claw, who's actually been spotted on set recently. It's going to be so fun to see Andy Serkis come back. Now, a lot of the movies being filmed in South Korea, but obviously Black Panther is going to be in Infinity War, so there's a lot of stuff happening in Atlanta where Marvel films most of its movies, but most of the Wakanda stuff they're filming in South Korea. That's just because of film credits. I know a lot of people are wondering why they don't actually film in Africa. Sometimes it's just cheaper for them to film in different places in the world. That's the only reason, but they're sort of teasing that a big part of the movie isn't just going to be him kicking ass, and I'll talk about that in a second. But it's also him working as a politician, because he is king of Wakanda now, so he's kind of like the midpoint between Tony Stark and Captain America. Captain America always thinks with his heart, wants to do the right thing. Tony Stark is more of the gray area, thinking more like a politician, like a business owner, so sometimes he makes choices that aren't super popular. So a lot of that is serving the Black Panther plot, where decisions that his father made are coming back to haunt him, like Ulysses Claw, who was branded the last time he tried to steal vibranium. Some of this concept art looks like it's from their vibranium mines. The Panther here that you see in the fog, they talk about the fog of war. I like the use of that metaphor, with the actual fog sort of covering up this giant statue of a panther. That's made of vibranium. Giant vibranium panther. But really, all this is just meant to give you a taste of how different, how advanced and cultured it looks compared to the rest of the world, even compared to the United States or Europe or any of the other places that we've been in the Marvel Universe, like when they were in Johannesburg fighting that giant Hulkbuster versus Hulk fight. It looked relatively decrepit compared to what's going on here. So that's why they've been so isolationist, because they have such a precious resource. It's given them access to all these wonderful things, all this education, science, technology, so they've advanced much faster than the people around them. But when you're sitting on that kind of a gold mine as a culture over a long period of time, you tend to get very paranoid. That was kind of the idea at the beginning of Civil War, the entrance of Wakanda opening up its borders. When vibranium was stolen from us and used for a very terrible thing, used by Ultron and Sokovia to kill all those people, they decided that that was the end of their isolationism. So now Black Panther actually has to deal with the reality of that. Not everybody in Wakanda agrees with him. Marvel's going to be rolling out all kinds of educational material just to help familiarize people with the character throughout the end of the year into next year, because 1 year from today, the movie is going to be coming out. And there are a lot of people who are familiar with the character, but they don't know him the way they know Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, the other characters that they've been living with in the movies for the last 10 years or so. So here's 10 really important things about the character. Number 10, Black Panther is actually considered the first black superhero in mainstream comics. He debuted in 1966, so even though the movie's coming out next year, this year is his 50th anniversary. Ta-Nehisi Coates has been writing this really amazing Black Panther run since the end of Secret Wars. It's kind of his version of Rebirth. They just meant to familiarize people with the culture, sort of convey some of the majesty of the character and how cool he is. So if you're looking to pick up Black Panther, I would recommend starting with that run, but there are a couple other runs that I mentioned on this list. So number 9, Panther's Rage is actually considered Marvel's first real graphic novel. Back in 1973, starting with Jungle Action number 5, it was sort of a loose collection of adventures focused on Black Panther's character before he actually got his solo title in 1977. But most of you know number 8, that Black Panther is just a title that's passed down to the person who leads Wakanda. In the comics, his father was Black Panther, his sister was Black Panther for a while, so it's not always a father to son thing, it's just something that's passed down through leadership. Like you see in Civil War, he's wearing his father's ring. That's the ring of leadership. It's more of a political royalty thing. In the movies, the mantle of Black Panther seems like it was passed down before all this happened. 7, the heart-shaped herb that he takes in gives him Captain America-level abilities without actually being a metahuman. So he has superhuman strength, superhuman speed. He's extra durable because of the vibranium weave suit. So the whole point of that chase during Captain America Civil War was to just show you what a badass he is. He's able to outrun Captain America and run down a motorcycle, but on top of that, he also has a PhD in physics from Oxford University. So he might not be Tony Stark level smart, but he's basically a more intelligent version of Captain America, which I think is kind of funny. Number 6, that enables him to take down villains as big as Mephisto. That's right, I mean, he could go toe-to-toe with Captain America, the other Avengers of similar power levels, no problem. But he's also fought and beaten Mephisto, which is just way beyond that. Number 5, he married Storm back in 2006 in the comics, one of Marvel's most high-profile marriages ever. Storm marrying Black Panther made them the power couple of the Marvel Universe. Literal power and metaphorical power because of the political power they wielded. She was princess of her tribe, so it was like a royal marriage. They annulled the marriage in 2012, so never forget that even if something really big happens in the comics, it always gets rolled back eventually. Marvel's kind of doing that with their comics right now. Things are returning to status quo by the end of this year. Number 4, big WTF here, Wesley Snipes almost played a version of the character in the movies back in the 90s. Now this was before Blade happened, but the project never panned out, so it was never to be. But a lot of people were wondering, because they're talking about doing more Blade stuff in the Marvel Universe, maybe we'll see more Wesley Snipes, but it would probably be Blade related if he did come back. Number 3, this will actually make you love Chadwick Boseman all the more. So he's this really amazing playwright, stage director, considered giving up acting until he was cast in the Jackie Robinson movie, which did amazing. It was an amazing portrayal, sort of reigniting his passion, and that's what got him the role of Black Panther. The Marvel people watching his performance in that movie. 2, behind-the-scenes Civil War stuff, he was originally a much bigger character before Marvel got the rights to Spider-Man. Kevin Feige always says they have multiple plans depending on what things work out, what contractual arrangements happen behind the scenes, so Black Panther was always a very important part of Civil War, but you have to imagine that maybe 10 or 15 minutes of footage that didn't make it into the film because they got Spider-Man. It would have just been more backstory for his character, but because they're doing the solo film, we'll just see all that when we get to next February. In number 1, he wielded the Infinity Gauntlet like a badass during Secret Wars, one of the best reveals from the end of that story. There's actually a gauntlet assembled from Infinity Gems from all different realities that Doctor Strange has left behind after he's died that Black Panther wields while he's waiting for Reed Richards to help take down Doctor Doom, who's wielding the power of the Beyonders. So he's just one of the people in the movies that has potential to wield Infinity Gems, wield the Infinity Gauntlet at some point, even though this first Infinity War film will just be Thanos assembling the gauntlet and erasing half of all life in the galaxy, or at least trying to. So let me know in the comments, what are you guys most hype about for Black Panther? We're going to be getting a whole lot of Black Panther later this year. Remember what Fox did when Deadpool was coming out. All the hardcore fans really understood the character, were totally down for the movie, but they wanted to get wider audiences to go and get jazzed up about it, so they're going to do the same thing for Black Panther. Just try to educate all the people that don't read comics, so whatever they drop, it won't be quite as ridiculous as the Deadpool stuff. Obviously a very different type of character, but it's going to be a lot of fun to take a deep dive into the character through the rest of the year. So what's going to happen next is there's new Spider-Man Homecoming, there's new Star Wars Episode 8, so I'll try to post those videos as fast as possible. Star Wars Fridays coming tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Congratulations to Tobias, you're the latest Doctor Strange DVD giveaway winner. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. There was a new round that started in this video. I'll just announce the winner the next time I post a Marvel video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. You can click here to watch the Thor teaser again, and you can click here for that Doctor Strange post-credits scene.